What's up, Devils Nation? Welcome into another edition of Coach's Corner. I am joined today by head women's volleyball coach, Jason Madsen. Jason, thank you for joining this version of Coach's Corner.
Thanks for having me, Romo. Good to be here.
So, over the last 2 years of working together, we've really got to know each other, and I've learned about your passion for volleyball, your enjoyment for being in college athletics, and your true love for helping better the student athlete and prepare them for life after college. So, start us at the beginning. When did you start coaching? Why did you start coaching? And where did you get your first coaching start?
So, started coaching shortly after graduating high school, actually. I started helping out with my high school team, along with my brother and another coaching friend of mine. Coached an all-boys high school team, top 5 in the state for a good, 15 years since we've been there and left. I've been coaching for quite a long time. How did I get into it? Just played the game. I knew from when I was a player that I always wanted to coach. I have a distinct memory of playing at a tournament at Penn State, where the coach at the time, I was probably 16, and the coach at the time was telling me, go in the game. And I said to him, Fred, I think I'm better off over here on the sideline. Why don't you just let me coach? And he was like, no, get in the game right now. So I did what I was told, but I think from that point on, I knew that coaching was something that I was interested in. And then luckily it just kind of took off from there.
Did you always know you wanted to be at the college level? Since you started your career at high school, I'm guessing at some point in time, you made the change to wanting to get to that college level.
Yeah, for sure. I think anybody who coaches obviously wants to always raise the level at which they're coaching. So for me, coaching in college, I wouldn't say that it was a goal of mine. Originally, I kind of wanted to do what you're doing right now. I was interested in being in communications and being an ESPN Sports Center anchor. That was like my ultimate goal. So that was something that I aspired to be. When I got into coaching, I started to understand the ins and outs, the nuances of it, and having an effect on the student athletes themselves. And once I kind of got a taste of that, I decided that it was for me. And then once we got a little success and got good at it, I knew that it was something that I could do, and that it was something that I wanted to continue to do throughout my career.
Is there one individual, multiple individuals, a mentor, a leader, somebody that you try and emulate your coaching style around?
Yes, for sure. I think there's a couple people that have at least pushed me as a coach, made me get better. First and foremost is somebody, he's a legend in the New Jersey volleyball game. So anybody who sees this, his name's Fred Siegel. He's been around the game since the 80s, I would say. He's pretty much, along with Mario Caruso and my uncle Gary, they kind of started the whole New Jersey club volleyball thing, the New Jersey club volleyball scene. So I learned from Fred the game. I learned from my uncle the game. And then the next person would be my friend Pedro Trevino. He's the head volleyball coach, head women's coach at NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology. He kind of helped me craft the way that I coach and the way that I go about conducting myself on the sideline, learning how to react to what's going on the court, reading what's happening on the other side of the court, and kind of keeping your composure on the sideline as best as possible. I think that's where I learned to coach. I was an assistant for him. We had a lot of success on the court, coaching men's volleyball at Rutgers Newark. We had 3 All-Americans, which was really cool to see. We made it to back-to-back NCAA tournaments, which was awesome. Great experience, not only for us, but for the student athletes as well. And then, that was kind of where everything just took off. I started coaching the men's team, the women's team, and then I found myself over to FDU, and we're looking to replicate some of the success here in the future.
So you're entering your 4th year at FDU, okay? And then you've talked to us about how you got into coaching, who you like to emulate your coaching style around. Now, what does an FDU Devils women's volleyball player look like to head coach Jason Madsen?
So, that's a tough question in the sense that we have so many different positions out there that have different roles on the court. If you're asking me what an offensive player would look like, I would love to have people and players that are hungry and throughout the entire match and game practice type atmospheres, never settling for what they're putting on the court, always reaching and trying to do their best and get better each and every day. I look for people that are coachable, obviously first and foremost, people that are going to work hard, players that are good team players, players that are effective communicators on the court that can understand their role as well as other players' roles, and I guess good players, good people that are going to affect not only the team, but also the community that they're working in. The FDU community, for instance, getting involved in certain things, whether it be sorority life, on-campus things, off-campus activities, just overall good people that are going to add to the atmosphere, not only of the team, but of the athletic department as a whole.
Now, you've had a lot of success in your coaching career, and you mentioned coachable players and good people. Can you really put an emphasis, and not just for FDU, but for the student athlete that might be watching this, on how important that combination is and how valuable you become to a head coach when you are coachable and you strive to be a great person?
They go hand in hand. I think, especially for volleyball, those things that you learn on the court that I was talking about, being a good communicator, being coachable, being a team player, they help you on the court, but they'll also help you off the court. Whether it's in school, with your parents, at work, these are all life skills or good individual traits that will help you excel as a human being, which is what we're trying to accomplish, at FDU.
Would you say that those are main values that you try and instill in your student athletes during their 4 years on the floor on campus?
Absolutely. I want them to be able to come in and not only have success on the volleyball court, but leave as better people than they were when they came in. So when they look back and they say, oh man, FDU was great. I had a lot of fun in the dorms doing X, Y, and Z, or in class I learned this. But when I played volleyball, it was a tremendous time for me because it helped me grow as a person. It helped me become the person that I am today, and leading by example, and just be a good person. I mean, it sounds redundant. I sound like a fool for saying it so much, but it's what I believe in. I believe in the golden rule wholeheartedly, and that you treat others as you want to be treated, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a student, or just as a person. So I think those skills, those traits are commendable in everybody, and that's something that we strive for here at FDU Volleyball.
Well, getting to know you, I know you're a great person, and you have a lot of great people in your program. Unfortunately, the fact of the matter is it's a disappointing time for fall sports. So talk to me, Jason, on how you addressed your team and kind of the way you put it into perspective on them, because I know it's disappointing for the student athlete, but knowing you, I know you tried to find a silver lining and something that they could grasp onto to work towards during the 2020 year.
Yeah, we talk about it a little bit in our Zoom meetings with the team, and I kind of always bring it up to them. It's two things I think that I say a lot. And first is, we're not the only ones that are going through this, obviously, as the volleyball team. I think we saw what happened in the spring, how unfortunately all the spring athletes, your baseball guys, kind of lost their chance to play. And, we felt for them, having got to go through our season and finish it all, and to see it kind of end so abruptly. I try to tell our girls all the time, this is affecting a lot of people. It's not just us. So we can't sit back and feel sorry for ourselves. We have to do what's necessary to get back on the court. And that kind of leads into my second point that I always say to them, which is it's on us to get us back onto the court. Follow the rules. I obviously don't want to make this overly political. People can have their own beliefs one way or the other, but I'm a firm believer of, wearing a mask, socially distancing, following the rules that are given not only by the state, but that are also going to be coming from FDU, so that we can have that opportunity to come back on the court and play. That's where we shine. That's where we want to be. So in order to do that, we have to follow the rules. I think those are two things that I stress to them very frequently. And hopefully they're listening. And when we come back to campus, God willing, one day, you'll see volleyball players leading by example. That's what I want to see.
They should be listening, because they're going to be tagged on the social media.
I hope so. It took them a while to figure out how to tag you on things, but now that
we're there
now.
All right, we're there now. All right, Jason, here's the deal. I got one more question for you, and I think it's one of my favorite questions I ever asked a coach. And as you know, I'm part SID, part aspiring coach myself. And you mentioned the learning process and learning every single day that you step out here and being a coach that learns. What advice would you give a young coach that's starting out in his or her coaching career that you think is important for them now, but also for the future success of their career as well?
I can look at myself as a bit of an example. As it pertains to how I started coaching to how I am now. I think you always have room to grow as a coach, and you have to allow yourself to learn and be willing to change kind of the way you go about things. Just because you coach one way your first day won't be the same way you're coaching, say 5, 10, 15 years down the road. Like, I know for me specifically, I used to be the kind of coach that was on the sideline that would get irritated at things and show my frustration, very much so, to the point where it would kind of take away from what's going on in the court. Like, you would see me, my face would get all red. I would get really, really angry, and I had this mean look on my face. So I contrast that to now, or at least I hope I don't look like that on the sidelines.
You
But
don't.
I know that I'm a lot more calm now than I was then. I think that from a coach's standpoint, you have to know that your kids are always watching. The players are always attentive to what's going on the sideline, and they're going to follow your lead. So if I'm calm and I'm under control on the sideline, I'm a firm believer that they will play the same way on the court. Nobody wants to be the maniac getting red-faced and yelled at and is like the laughing stock on the court anymore. So I think keeping yourself open to growing, learning from your mistakes, and putting in the work for the student athletes, if you can kind of align those things perfectly, you'll have a successful, wins and losses aside, you'll have a successful career as a coach, in a sense that you're doing it for the right reasons. You know, I like I said before, I want my kids to have a great time playing volleyball. I want to win matches, but I want them to leave better people than they came in, having a good experience playing volleyball at FDU.
And a lot of that comes down to building relationships. And, sir, you are doing a fantastic job of that. Jason Madsen, head volleyball coach at FDU Forum. Thank you, Jay, for taking the time here on Coach's Corner.
Thanks, Romo. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate you. Horns up.
Got it, man.